go see the doctor.
Founded in 1988, American was Brown's answer to the epidemic of gang violence in the inner city.
I don't think that there could be anything any more important than to keep young people from killing each other. Over what? A red rag, a blue rag? That's a terrible mindset to think that there are thousands of young people out there that's willing to shoot someone or willing to go to the penitentiary, as if that is some sign of glory.
You know, it was a lot of people that went up there to Jam House, and a lot of them homies, they older than me, jeering at me and all that, and they all, doing pretty good, for the most part. A lot of people went up there and handled their business. I was one of the only ones that, in that bracket that was everything they wanted, but I couldn't deliver because they wanted me to go to the county jail to talk to homies inside of jail. And I was like, man, I don't do jail. And Jim felt like $5,000 was good enough for anybody to go to the county jail and talk to the homies and make it earning a decent living and all that. And I basically was like, man, look, I want to do video. I need to make, documentaries and all that. And they was like, you are going to get to do all that, but you got to also go to the county jail and talk because, unfortunately, like how some of my videos are, I didn't say, you feel me every other 5 minutes because I'd be more comfortable in public speaking. I can really get cracking. I done spoke at USC, UCLA, Cal State Northridge, Northridge in the Valley. I done spoke at many colleges and many places. May not seem like it, but I really do get cracking. Just sometimes on the internet, for whatever reason, you get nervous. But they was highly impressed. Jim was highly impressed with me with, talking, speaking, organizing stuff and everything. So he felt that $5,000 was good enough for me to go to the county jail and do it. And I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to do that. And he wanted to know why. And they asked me, man, why you don't want to go to the jail to talk, man? We're going to pay you. And I was like, man, I don't do jail. I'm not going to jail to talk to no nigga in jail. Yeah, I wait for him to come on the street. I get at him on the street. I'm not going inside the jail to talk. And they was like, why? I was like, man, I said, because I'm active, homie, and I'm from West Side rolling 90s, neighborhood Crip. And I was like, it ain't nobody like me ain't gonna be coming into jail. I said, man, when a homie see me coming to that county jail, they in civilian clothes, man, they gonna be thinking, they gonna be wanting me to go in my ass and pull out crack because that's what I do and that's what they need in there more than this program. They really want some weed, some dope, and all that. And I'm not doing that because if you get caught, guess what? You through with money. And they didn't understand that. So they cut me.
They got a program talking about how the whole nine. So they use certain tactics. Now, you know what I'm saying? If you're there, you already know about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you just hear about it, though, people go, oh, they don't. No, they can't be. Well, come on, man. They've been gangs before gangs was gangs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, at times, the whole thing is now that we understand that, because we understand this, whatever we do, we are told they're going to try to shut it down if too many people hear it first with Crips and Blood. So we subliminally go under and tell them, we dealing with enriching the youth. Mm-hmm. Telling them about history because it's history. It's not to be, it ain't like we glamorizing it or even saying that we should be, that we're.
In the first place, Manuel Noriega
was working directly in cahoots with George Bush before he was president. He was the head of the CIA.
Exactly.
Manuel Noriega was working with George Bush and to get arms that they needed. George Bush and Manuel Noriega hooked up and was running drugs through the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
They started running through the Panama Canal when crack first came out. They're the ones that flooded crack into Southern California.
Right.
Not just the presidency. It's who your senators are, who your congressmen, who your councilmen are from your neighborhood. If they're not going out there fighting for you and making sure that the community centers are in there, and these are very goddamn important because there's a big digital divide.
Yeah.
Technology is moving so fast that the homies are going to get lost because sooner or later everything is going to be run through this computer. And the little homies that don't know it,
no cash,
the one that's going to get caught up in that Proposition 21, that 3 strike, 3 minor felonies.
See, when you a little boy, that's what you do, mischief. You get into trouble, grandma spank you. You become a teenager, you get in more trouble. Mama spank you, grandma spank you, grandpa spank you. When you become a young adult, you out here foolish and you wild. And as you get older, you start to look back on all that and you start trying to change because you don't want to be that same person that you was 10, 15 years ago. That is the natural order of things. But let me tell you something. When you chosen by God, you don't got no choice. You getting out there whether you like it or not. The same way when you in that meeting and somebody call your name and you can't turn down no fade, that's the same thing's gonna happen when God put his hands on you. You don't care about nothing. And I've been dealing with Crips and Bloods for over 25 years because God said you don't got no choice, none. You got to get out there, period. We could be, 6 or 7 homies from different hoods, anywhere from Harlem's, V&G's, Denver Lanes, schoolyards, West Boulevards, PBG's, 9-0s, of course. I mean, we could be up, we could be down. 4 homies, whatever. But it was just kind of like up and down during that time. So, but when it had got to the point to where, because once the money stopped, people got to live their lives. So, homies that just fall off naturally. Like, Bo, man, I can't hang out with you today, man. My girl said, man, I got to do something. Hey, look. Hey, thank you. This is Dr. Crip. Welcome to the show. Please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff like that. And it was a comment, they was like, when you gonna tell the Jim Brown shit? So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and tell the Jim Brown, but that's what I was trying to explain to the commenter. Sexy Cheese. I assume it's a female. I see heels and champagne bottles on the name. Sexy Hills, 45, 42. Yeah, she want to know about the the Jim Brown, but it was a trip because what I was saying is that when it used to be quite few of or whatever, like I said, when the money get low, then people fall off. But, I was just one of them people. I'm a Capricorn, we loyal like that. We got an undying loyalty until we get crossed. So when you cross us, then it's a wrap. We coming for your throne, your head, all that. But it was just me and Bo at that time. And I didn't know it then, but Bo had told me later down the line that Jim had been trying to get at him. We went to a party. We was at a party in, I believe it was on the west side. It's on the west side somewhere Nate Holden, you know, the councilman and all that. I think it has something to do with Nate Holden, maybe his reelection or something like that, or he was endorsing something, because we did a little bit of everything for somebody on that side of town. Herb Wesson, you know, whatever it is to win, you know, the petty stuff, you know, that they do, you know, snatching signs out of people's yards. Man, break us off for that, you know. But I think it was like Nate Holden or somebody like that. But we was at a function, and you know, we was talking and all that. So at this time it was just me and Bo. Wasn't nobody with us. Everybody had fell off. So it was a dude named, I believe his name is Dwayne Moody. He was a short, dark-skinned guy with a long ponytail, kind of a slick talking dude. You know, I seen him. He was on Bo that night, tough. You know. So when me and Bo got back in the van, and you know, I'm like, man, who was that dude with the ponytail? Why he was on you? I said, he even tried to come holler at me for a minute or two. He said, oh man, that's one of Jim folks. Jim trying to get us to come up there. Jim want to holler at, because see, you got to understand, Unity One, we were the street team at that time. What no other gang, or I don't care who it is, wasn't no organization. Nobody wasn't making noise like we were making noise, due to the simple fact that we were gang members. So once I got on board, that's when everything blew up, because I brought the whole West Side with me. I bought the neighborhood car. I bought the whole old car with me. So, and that's what got Bo already had momentum. You know, he already was doing his thing. Just that when I jumped on board, that kind of like, you know, springed everything forward. And for those few years, you know, it was on and popping. That 97, like I said, when they got me out of jail, I was supposed to go to prison for 5 years. I go to court one day, and then boom, I ain't no longer in jail. So, you know, we used to be. I was riding the wave of that, because they got me out of. This is before we met Jim. This is with Tom Hayden. You know, you might know him if you know that movie called The Chicago 7. His character is played in that movie. Check it out. It's a good movie. I said I was going to have that information. Next time I ever talked about it, I messed up again. I don't got it. But Chicago 7 is the movie. There's a character in there named Tom Hayden. He was senator of California. He got me out of jail, out of doing a 5-year prison sentence. See, niggas don't know about stuff like that. You know, when you have a senator come to court for you, you don't need bail money. This is my bail right here. Drop this case. It's done, over with. I came in on off the run on that case too. And so my loyalty was at an all-time high with Unity One, you know. So they pulled me, Unity One pulled me straight from the hood. And it was on and popping after that. And here's another fun fact. Had it not been for Big Space Ghost from 9-0, and I was still on the list at that time, but it was I was making ground to get off the list. So I had a dope case, and I was fighting my dope case, and Ghost wanted us to come one day to hear him speak over at the West Side. That Bo Taylor was giving he was doing a speech over there. So Ghost got the whole hood together. One of them things, oh, you don't want to roll to hear me? You're going to get DP'd today for that. I'm going to find a way to get your ass kicked today. So we went over there deep, you know, to hear Ghost speak. And he introduced me to Bo Taylor. And that's where my relationship first started with Bo. Like, boom. And he introduced me like this one of my young homies. Cuz sharp in the mind, he could deal with stuff like this. This is basically what he said. You know, he could do the stuff that you talking about. And, you know, he need help with a case. And all this other stuff. So, that's how my relationship with Bo started. But so that lasted all the way up until that was about a year or so, because I was on the run a couple of years. I was messing with him here and there. And then when Tom Hayden finally came to court for me, and I didn't have to do that 5 years in prison because the lady was 85%, the DA was 85%, and all that. So they was for sure you doing 4 and some change. And once I got out of that, my dedication to Unity One went sky high, as it should, I assume, because you're real niggas do real shit, as they say, right? Yeah, okay. So once that organization got me out of doing a 5-year bid, I think I need to check y'all out and see what's going on. So that's what I did. And it went straight to the top. I went straight to the top. So now I'm hanging out with Bo. Everything is dedication. But like anything, just because God put these people in front of you now, you may be good now, but, you may have to move on, and do something else, depending on what he got you doing. God give you multiple tasks sometimes. Like, hey, I'm finna send you over here with these dudes. You're going to be over there for about 2 or 3 years, and then it's time to go. Don't be hanging on over there. I told you it's only I need you to leave. So he that's the way my gang prevention was just always been. I just bounced around after that because I treated it like a gang. Once I got put on Unity One, there was no other going to another organization. It's all about me in the hood. That's where it resorted back to. And, I work with people here and there and build relationships to bring everything back to Jesse Owens Park. But so, I messed around. So kind of like when Jim came about, I was not on it was the beginning of the outs for me when we met Jim. That would be my last couple of years with Unity One. Because after that, it was when they closed the door on me, because I didn't want to play ball with the going inside of the county jail to talk, they kind of cut me loose, but I came in at a high impact level, So, like I said, it was at this party. We was at this party because at that time, it was just me and Bo. We should just be hanging out all the time. The jobs we get is just me and him doing them, whatever it is, security work. We was going everywhere, backstage concerts, and we stayed on TV and the radio, getting all kind of, just really surviving. But, we you get those ups, we might have been going a whole week or so, just every day he come pick me up or I drive over there, however it worked. But I'm not selling no drugs. I'm not selling no drugs. I'm not trying to plot no robbery. I'm not doing nothing. The only thing I'm doing is going over there, hanging out with Bo every day, females here. Females are always a part of it because it's always sisters is always trying to, I like that. Sisters like everything. They like men that's trying to do good. They like gangsters. They like the nerd. And they should be doing because they have consistency. Because we didn't met some powerful women, man. I didn't met some powerful black women through Unity One and Jim Brown, American, that love me to death. So Maria Shriver is one of them. When she first met me, she couldn't get enough of me. She was like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, and Jim was like, holler at her, like, boom. So You know, I wish I could find that interview she did on me, you know, but she came up to Jam House, you know, because it was popping when Unity One was there. When we came along, it's like we brought some new life to that program because I think because Jim was bumping heads with the Watts car at the time. See, because people don't know the Watts car want they credit and they money for helping make the program, the blanket of suppression, the American program. I still know all that, you know, dealing with the blanket of suppression and the gang stuff, you know, so that program, you know, was written by, you know, the homies from Watts. You know, they put their brains in it along with Jim touches in there, and together they came up with that program. You know, the American program. So, all that was going on at the time when Unity One, which was me and Bo at that time, met Jim. So that was the first little thing that I seen. But I found out later down the line, Bo told me that he'd been trying to get at me. He had been trying to get at him for years, you know, after he had went up there. Because Bo had been up there before with the 60s too. Way before I came along, you know. I think the homie Keystone used to be up there. I think Bo came a little bit after that or something like that. Maybe Lil Cat and them was up there, you know, but I didn't have nothing to do with it at that time. But it was really popping like that. So it was another function we went to because we used to talk all the time. We used to go speak. We used to do stuff. People used to give us donations. Like I said, we'll go a week without nothing happening. Then boom, all of a sudden we'll meet some lady that's a philanthropist that has something to do with Southern California gas. And she'll be like, you guys are adorable. I love what you're doing in the streets. I have to make a donation to you. Please, where can I write this donation to you? Boom, boom. And at that time, we didn't believe in 501c3s and all that. We didn't do none of that. He had a bank account, but we didn't, we don't really have that. So once the lady, she's like, you don't have to, like, well, this is what I'm going to do, Bo. I'm going to just write the check to you so you can go cash it. You have a bank account, Bo? Yeah, I got a bank account. Okay, well, I'm going to just give you $5,000. Will this help you? Yeah, that'll help. Yeah. And you could just go cash it, go to my bank, cash it, the whole nine. Boom. So we'll go cash it. Like that night we met Dwayne Moody. We got like about 3,500. You know, he just put some money in my hand, like 1,300. Like boom, just here. Like he got it. I don't know where he got it from. Somebody gave it to him, like boom, and he like, here, you know. I'm like, look, like yeah. I was like, oh, okay. It would just happen like that. So that's how we was eating. But it was a trip, you know. So and we went to another function after that function right there. I believe that function was Nate Holden. And the next function we went to, because we was always dealing with politicians and everything, we went to another event to where I spoke somewhere. It could have been, I don't know, maybe the 100 Black doctors or something. Because we know all kind of people, you know, people don't understand that, you know, it's a nonprofit group called 100 Black Doctors in Los Angeles that love organizations like Unity One that deal with conflict resolution and all that. You know, they used to take us out to eat the lorries and all that all the time. But at that next event, it was a female, and she was hollering at us. She was like, "Hey, Jim told me if I see you to, holler at you, whatever." We were like, okay, like, all right. So Bo accepted the invitation. So now, we on our way. We get together. He like, come on, we're gonna go up to the top up here to the hill to meet Jim, So when we get up there, boom, Jim have a very interesting way when you meet him for the first time. It's very humbling, and you know that you know that you feel that you are in the presence of something great. You may not know exactly what it is, but you definitely know that you are in an atmosphere of greatness. You can feel it. It's a powerful feeling when you go to his house, man. It's real powerful, And the very first thing that he asks you is, how he said, how you doing? Like, yeah. He said, where's your father? And you answer the question, he dead, he at home, or whatever, and he like, that's good, the father needs to be in the life of his child. And if, like my situation, my father had already passed. So I told him, I'm like, yeah, my father passed. He like, did y'all have a good relationship? I'm like, the best. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because he never seen me really do nothing worthy. I've been bad for a long time. I mean, it's part of his fault, my mama's fault. They got a divorce, and they could, watching me was not heavy on the list. So I had a lot of freedom. And you ain't supposed to have that much freedom like that when you're a child, man, because you can definitely get into some mischievous things. And that's what I did. I got into a lot of mischievous things. And when I mean mischievous, I mean like really mischievous, man. I was not a good child. So I told Jim, like, yeah, he never really seen me good, like after 9, 10, I was bad, he ain't never really seen me as, he might have thought I was a good child, but he ain't really never seen me, really be a good child, So he said, well, that's good. Your dad was in your life, all that good stuff. And now his second question, he asked you 2 questions. Well, the first one is about your father. The second question is, do you play chess? You answer, boom. I answer no, because I don't play chess. Bo plays chess. So soon as Bo's like, yeah, I play chess, oh, you got to go to the Hall of Fame room, It's a nice chess table in there. See, that's why you have to go. Remember, I was telling you about chess. Go look at the Chess Master story, and you will see because later on down the line, when they kicked me out the crew, the only thing I had to get them with was chess. So I came up with the Chess Master revenge plot. Like, let me this they're gonna have to get they're gonna want me back after this because I'm gonna put this together for them. But it didn't turn out like that. But it almost worked. It got to their mind. They knew they like this nigga right here. See, that's why we need this. Like he need to come back, you know. But I'm not taking the I couldn't deal with the $5,000 a month, you know, because I was in my sickness. See, I was in my sickness at that time, heavy. Just because I was doing Unity 1 doesn't mean that I still wasn't participating in gang banging. I was heavy in gang banging. This 9-0. And it's whatever, you know. So I was basically the security. You couldn't come to Unity 1. If I didn't, you had to be a rider to get to the table when I was there. That's what made it grow the way it was, because I would have to trust you. I know I can come, you can come to my hood and ain't nothing gonna happen. There's plenty of niggas that came over there. And, you know, there's plenty of homies come over there. You know, the Swans, all kinds of, you know. And I basically was that man. So when we at Gym House, you know, I walk off with Rockhead, and me and Rockhead tossing it up, you know, we chilling, you know, we hollering, you know. So eventually, you know, the girls pop up over there, you know, whatever, and you know, we entertain. So and while they chilling, you know, doing the talking about the business or whatever. So after that, you know, we used to go up there, you know, quite frequently. We on our way to Gym House, and that's when the incident happened. See, as soon as we met Jim, that's when the incident with the car, him busting out the car and all that happened. Because his wife, she was a little bit younger at that time, and she really didn't understand. She just liked the Jim for who he was as a person. She didn't really understand because she was from New York. So she really didn't understand the politics of when you he is the type of celebrity he is, and if you involve the police, the kind of twists they can do because of the work that he's doing with the Crips and the Bloods. So she didn't really understand all that to a full degree. But once that case happened, that's when she seen like, oh wow, they really trying to take you down, like, you know, they want your head, like, and you didn't even do all this that they saying now. You know, they were trying to get her to say this and that, and he hadn't do all that. They got into an argument. Jim went outside and bust the windows, because we went up there either that night or the next day. I want to say the next night we went up there because I think they took him to jail. He had to bail out, something like that, and he came out the next night. The next night we came out there because I seen the car and everything. He showed us the car, the whole nine. So now he got the case, you know. So I wish I could find the news. I've been looking for it. I just can't find it. But I used to go to court. I went to the Hollywood court with him. So Jim wanted us to go to court with him all the time, you know, like, because this is an injustice. He already see it, how it's working. You know, they put a special judge on there, the whole nine. So that very first time we go to Hollywood court because it's a misdemeanor. We thinking that it's gonna get thrown out, you know. And when we go to court, you know, Harvey Levin, TMZ, It was called something else at that time. It wasn't even TMZ. It was called something else. They all was out there, and that's when the homies first see me on TV with the Walking with Jim, and I had on the 9-0 jacket. I had on my brown, the 9-0 jacket from Craigie Bar, from my nigga Craigie Bar from 60s, that make the coats, the $1,000 lambskin, brown with the 9-0, the NAC. And I think a lot of homies in the pen has seen it. And, it was, like my phone was ringing. That was my first time ever like experiencing something like that. Like, damn, like no, you was on the news today, cuz all kind of niggas. You was walking with Jim. Like, yeah, like, so it was really on with Jim. We was going back and forth, everything. So, yeah, and so he went to court, and he seen that they had bounded over. He seen how the judge was. They switched the judges on him, and the judge that was sitting at the thing had was they put a twist move on him. They was trying to OJ him because all that stuff was going on, with the OJ, now Jim with this. They was really trying to, they was being super over aggressive with Jim, and we was there trying to fight it. So he wanted us there to go with him to all the court cases with him. But like I said, we was just starting out with Jim. All this happened like in the first month or something of us dealing with him. And little did they know, at the next court day, it was finna get ugly, because I seen some at the court day that I needed to get down with, and it went up. I went straight up. Like, I'm in my sickness. So, like I said, if I got a problem with a nigga, I don't give a fuck who, where, what's going on. It's going down, homie. And it happened to go down at that courthouse. And it was a trip. And yeah, that'll be on part 2. This